Walking by faith is the easiest thing to do in life. Turning you off is the hardest thing to do in life. Many times God is speaking, but because the only voice that we hear and the only impression that we feel are things that we can perceive. So I'm more attuned to my ears, to my eyes, to my feelings than I am to anything God will ever do. So when I slow things down, the loudest voice we hear is us. So God can't direct our faith because our voices are too loud. Be still and know I am God. Stillness is a discipline. I'll say it again. Stillness. Activity is not always a discipline. Activity sometimes comes by agitation. So sometimes our agitation makes us do because we feel like if it ain't being done, somebody got to do it. And so now what we spend most of our lives doing is listening to our agitations and responding to our aggravation. But God says, he says, listen, I'm the still small voice. I'm not the big voice Jeremiah. That I'm not in the mountains. I'm not in the rumblings. I'm not in the earthquakes. I am the still small voice. But the question is, as a discipline, how often do you slow things down to where your house and your environment is still? I'll say it again. When do you shut things down to where your house and your environment is still? You get in the car, you turn on the radio. You go home and turn on TV. You pick up your phone, pick up your laptop. And so there's a constant influx of satanic information. 2 Corinthians 4:4 says, for the devil, he is the god of this age. And it says he has blinded, listen, the god of this age, what does he do? He blinds the mind. Am I making sense? So the god of this age, 2 Corinthians 4:4, it says he blinds the minds. Why does he blind the mind? So that he's for fear of them hearing the gospel, for fear of them hearing the good news, for fear of them hearing what the Lord is saying. Could you imagine that my mind is so noisy that I've drowned out God? So that I've trained my mind to always be talking. And even when I say I'm going to have a still moment, I have set my life up so that that stillness is always interrupted. I turn my phone off, but I leave the vibration on. I put my phone in the other room, but I got my watch. And here's the deal that blows me away. We are so attuned that we can put our phone in the other room and we can turn the ringer off. And then we can be 2 rooms away with the door closed and we can hear the vibration of the phone. And we can, and it begins to call us. So how did we get so attuned to everything but God? You know every creak in your house. You know when the neighbors are driving down the street. You can even hear sometimes, if you have an old school clock, you can hear the hands move. But we would say collectively, it's been a long time since I heard God. How could I be so sensitive, yet so loud? And it's because we've given the world a place that belongs to God. We were never meant to be totally accessible to anybody but God. He says, pray without ceasing. He says, men should always pray. So he says, we should always have. Am I making sense? You should always be able to hear me, and I should always be able to hear you. But if you can imagine now, what we've got now is we've got all of the idols that are talking to us. Have you ever sat down to pray and a secular song just come to mind? And you're like, wow, where did that idea come from? You know, you say, I'm going to go read the word. And you say, but first, let me go and do this. 3 hours, and the 3 hours have passed by. I'm getting ready to go. Listen, I'm gonna slow down. I'm finna rest. And you almost sit down, and then you sit, and then before your hind parts get rested good in the seats, you jump up and say, but let me take care of this real quick. You can't. I'm making sense. The dish has got to be. I left that dish, those clothes. I got to fold those clothes for tomorrow. Am I making sense to anybody? And so now you're so sensitive, but you will say, I ain't heard from God in so long. And why don't God hear my prayers? And God's saying, because you never talk to me. You talk, you give me a complaint. And so our conversation is really respond to your agitation. Could you imagine coming close to somebody who's always aggravated with you? Hey. God, He's trying to speak to some of us. We are driven by, we call ourselves disciplined people, but the reality is we have trained our ears, we have trained our spirit to hear all of the creaks and all of the messages of the world. And even Cindy, when I try to go to sleep, now the noise is so loud that I can't even turn off in my sleep. That now I'm not awakened by God. I'm always awakened by worries and tasks. You forgot to do that. So your spirit never rests. And you haven't felt relaxed in God in years. And it messes with your confidence. Because now all you hear is problem, fix. problem. I want to invite you for the rest of this month, 13 days. I want to challenge you. I want to invite you to this space, but I'm going to challenge you to get there. I'm going to invite you to, you got to find 30 minutes. 30 minutes. 30 minutes a day. I'm going to challenge you. 30 minutes a day where it is silent. 30 minutes. I didn't say an hour. I didn't say 6 hours. You see how difficult this is? What I'm saying is you're getting anxious right now. Because you're like, how do I do that? How do I do that? See, listen, that means you're no longer the master of your own life. You can't even fathom how you will get permission from yourself to have 30 minutes where you will say, no phone. I'm not saying sit there and meditate. I'm going to ask you, this is not 30 minutes of study. This is just everything off, chill. Sit on your porch. Sit next to the window. Not a conversation, just 30 minutes. Because we got to retrain our brains to be open to the Spirit again. And like I said, when you do it next week, it's going to be very difficult. You're going to do it 5 minutes, and you're going to quit. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Yeah. No. You watch to see, because 5 minutes of silence is a long time. Especially when you're always used to noise. And it's going to be funny because I'm telling you what you're going to see. You're going to watch yourself start doing things like this. You're going to start tapping your fingers or doing something to give yourself some stimulation. Because you're going to say, I don't know how to do this. Yeah, I need to do. Why is it so important? Because if you can train if we can start retraining our brain to slow down and make boundaries again, then what you're doing is you're opening up a door and a time where God can speak to you. The Bible says in the garden, in the cool of the day, God would come down and come walk through the garden, and he and Adam would just talk. God is challenging us because he says, you've got to now, Rock, get to a point now where you have that time where you look forward to talking to your daddy. I'm going to help somebody with this. You may even in this 30 minutes, at first, when you finally start doing it, you're going to fall asleep. Because your body either knows 10 or 0. And then after you're going to say, I fell asleep. And God is saying, good. You rested. I know how to whisper to you in your sleep. But I want you to find 30 minutes over this between now and the 28th of February. And what you're going to see is about the second week, you'll be walking, and you'll learn how to be silent even sometimes when you're around people. And you'll start hearing that still small voice say, speak to them. Pray for them. You'll hear it. It's a will. Even when I came out today, I was like, I gotta do Hosea. And I was like, I did not do all this work for Hosea. not to teach this thing tonight. I was like, no, I'm going to teach Hosea. And God was like, nah, you're going to do what I say. And I was like, I'm just going to pray for this person. And he was like, boop, boop. And I was like, oh, come on, God. Brandy's spirit was over there saying, oh, you better say something to me. Oh, I know you better say something to me. And then I was like, just these 4? And God was like, no. So I'm saying what you saw me do is learn to hear God.
Thank you for worshiping with us today. If you liked this message, you can find the rest at cmllcstore.com. We invite you to join us again for our extraordinary worship services every Sunday at 10:30 a.m., Sundays at 4 p.m., and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central, where Dr. Moody teaches how to understand the Bible, and you can get all your biblical questions answered. We look forward to connecting with you. We ask that you subscribe to the ROCK-ATX on YouTube and follow the ROCK-ATX on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected to all the Rock is doing. You can also get connected on our website at TheROCKATX.org. Again, thank you for worshiping with us, and be blessed.